Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Friggin' Technology. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Logitech Ultrathin keyboard. Just to sort of give you an idea, it is this keyboard right here. It retails for about $99 in most retail outlets. I did see it as cheap as around, I think it was 70 or 80 bucks on Amazon. So you could pick it up for a slightly better deal. Essentially, it smudges a lot. Essentially, this is it's a chiclet style keyboard. It basically attaches to your iPad like so. So it almost looks like a smaller version of a MacBook Air. So they've got these stoppers that are built in here. Basically what they do is they prevent the glass from hitting the keyboard. It's like these little rubber stoppers here, essentially. Let's see if we can actually get a close-in on them. That's what they look like. So far, I've had the keyboard for a few days. My overall impression so far is it's not a bad keyboard. I do have some issues with it, but overall, I mean, it's a fairly decent keyboard. And I mean, $99 it seems like a lot, but I mean, if you've ever tried typing on the glass on the iPad, it's kind of a pain. So let's get into it. So essentially, the benefit of this is it almost acts like a smart cover. Basically, just clicks on and closes. I would say the magnet's not very strong. It comes apart pretty quickly. I didn't even really do much there, and it just came apart. But I mean, overall, it's a nice aesthetic look. I wouldn't say it's one of the things I'm hesitant about is just having this exposed on its own without having any back covers. So let's see how this thing works. Now, the one other drawback to this keyboard is if you have some kind of a back cover, it generally won't work. I've read online where there are some people that say that they used a Belkin snap case, or I think that's what it's called, and they say they can get away with it, but it doesn't have the magnetic feature, just kind of just sits in. So this little white bezel here, essentially, what this does is it has a magnetic strip that, if you listen, just clips onto the iPad. So you can sort of go up and down on it and so forth. Again, this magnet's not very strong. Off the top, one of the things I sometimes like doing is sitting in a chair and using my keyboard. And this is great for flat surfaces, but if you're on an angle or something, this is a very top-heavy device. And what I mean by that is the slightest little flick of this basically makes it come right off. I mean, if I'm sitting down and I do this by accident, this is basically going to come right off. And without any protection, that kind of scares me a little bit. But I do have a solution for that, so stay tuned. So essentially, here's how it works. Let me just put in my password. So I just put in my password, and I have this app called Notability open. Notability is a really cool app. I like it a lot for just doing general typing. But actually, before I even get into that, let me just walk you through some of the features of this thing. So there's a micro USB port to basically charge your device. There's a Bluetooth indicator button, and as well there's the on-off switch right there. I've heard that this can go for charge for a couple of months. I've only had it for a couple of days, so obviously I can't validate that statement right now. But let's get into how this thing works. So let's make sure it's turned on. And it is. It's green. Does it work? Yes, it does. So I think from a typing standpoint, there is a learning curve to this device. It takes a little bit of time, but let's just give it a go here. This is my So as you can see, I mean, the keyboard itself, it's slightly smaller, the buttons here. So for me, I'd say I kind of got chubby fingers. so for me, I mean, it takes a little bit of getting used to. The other really cool feature about this keyboard in particular is if you look along the top here, it's actually got iPad-specific functions, which is kind of nice as well. You've got your home button there, you've got your volume controls here, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'll walk through in a second. But one of the features I really like a lot is just using the home button. It basically, just using this one button in the corner, you can be on whatever page, hit the home button again, and you can get into a search. And then, but I haven't actually seen a lot of people do this, but I just kind of figured it out by default. If you hit the home button twice, it actually takes you to your multi-screen window here, which is kind of nice as well. So double tap, and it takes you there. For a lot of the keys on the top, you have to hold down the function keys if you want to use your volume control and so forth. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff here that I don't even really use. You can configure it to go to the web and do all this other stuff, but I haven't had a chance to fiddle around with that yet. So let's see how this stacks up actually against the Apple keyboard. Whenever I'm on planes, I generally take my Apple keyboard with me, and I'm not sure if that's going to be, if I'm going to continue doing that, or if I'm going to now check out this Logitech and take that for a ride and see how it looks. But basically, if you look at the keys itself, if I line them up from the bottom, the top layer of keys here are just slightly below the second level from the top on the Apple key. So you can definitely tell that it's a condensed keyboard. Typing on this is like typing on my Mac. It's a breeze. I generally don't make any errors. With this one, it is a learning curve. It takes a little bit of time. So one of the biggest complaints that I found online is two things. First of all, is the back here scratches a lot as well sometimes. So there was actually this guy on YouTube who came up with this solution. It was brilliant. But basically, what you do is take your smart cover and you put it on the bottom. And I mean, people are probably thinking, well, I don't want to just carry my smart cover with me as well. So this kind of protects it on the bottom if you look. But the guy on YouTube came up with I didn't actually realize it worked, but what you can do, and you can connect it. And then what you can do after that is that magnet is actually apparently powerful enough that it connects right on top. So you still have that sleek look, you just have your smart cover in between, which to me, I mean, I actually don't mind that, because to me it just gives me that added sense of security that my glass is actually protected. And you can carry it around. I mean, it adds minimal bulk to the actual overall iPad itself. And then when you're ready to type, just basically pull both of them off, turn it around, put this on top, and you're off to go. That's it. It's that simple. Now, another concern that a lot of people have is the inability to put on a back cover. So I have actually got a little solution for that as well. I bought this back cover off of eBay. I think it was like $5 or something. And let me show you basically. I got the back cover back on here. And here's what happens with the keyboard. It actually doesn't fit in. I can't. There's no way for me to get this in. Like I said, I've heard of people that have used the Belkin snap cover, I think that's what it's called, and they say that seems to work fine, but I've actually got a small alternate solution. So using the same approach as the gentleman did on YouTube here, you have your smart cover with it. I mean, it's very simple. Roll up your smart cover, and there's your stand. You just place it. I mean, there's a lot of space back here. You just place it on top, and you've got your keyboard again. And to be quite honest, that magnet, I mean, that's not going anywhere. That magnet was, it's strong, but I mean, for me, it's not, it didn't provide me that comfort. I'd rather have my backing on here and just use a smart cover on this device here. And there you go, you have your regular keyboard all over again. I mean, you can use it perfectly fine, no issues. It kind of sits in the groove here, but it's backed up by your smart cover like that. So I mean, it looks fine to me. It takes the same amount of real sit-ups. If you're sitting on a plane, you're not going to be taking up any more room. And to me, it just does the job really well. So, you know, if I go back to, you know, so I can basically, you know, continue typing my way, I can do whatever I like, and it works perfectly fine. And from a portability standpoint, like I said, and I've got my smart cover on here, and there you go. I mean, it still does the job in my opinion. It holds it. I don't, you know, for the most part, I think this actually works out well. And yeah, it's a nice device. It scratches easy, so I'm not a big fan of that. But I mean, overall, it's a nice device. I can't really fault too much on it. So yeah, check it out. Check out my link on the bottom. I've provided a description for you to check it out on Amazon. But overall, it's the Logitech Ultrathin keyboard, retailing for $99. You can get it for a slightly cheaper price on Amazon.com. And overall, I think it's a fairly decent keyboard relative to its competitors for $99. Please subscribe. Thanks.